Good morning, friends.
Hey.
Hey, hey, hey. How are we doing? How are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah,
How about you?
Good afternoon to our friends on the East Coast,
East
right?
Coast, yeah. What? It's noon, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out her overalls. Are those the cutest
Oh
things
my
ever?
gosh, they're mushrooms. Crystal and I are twins today.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm super jealous I don't have a pair.
I know.
I need a pair. I want to match you and Crystal.
Of course you do.
Yeah. I want to be part of the cool kids club, okay?
Exactly.
Good morning, everyone. Today is day 2. Day 2
Wow.
of the Nativity sew-along, and I thought it would be fun to have my bestie here, Miss Kyle, who's going to help me today. I thought that would be kind of cool.
I already noticed I'm going to learn something right off.
Yes. Oh, you think so?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw that.
All right. Well, we'll see. Yeah. And there's 6 by 10 and what prevention we can use. Donna, can you address this early? Hoop size. We are going to be talking about hoop size today because, yes, it matters and it's important for this project to know, like, you know, can you do background quilting in that particular size? Can you not? You know, all of that.
Here's my secret. My friend told me how to do this. If I'm not sure my hoop will fit, if it'll be big enough, I just put it in when I got it all ready to go. I put in a hoop and they'll tell me whether or not it's big enough.
You know what? There's been more than one occasion I've had to do that. You're right, Kyle.
That's how I know.
That's how I know. And that's how you'll know too. You'll be like, oh.
It won't let you go.
It gives you the little sad face.
I know.
I know. So, but the good news is there's always options. And so we're going to talk about that a little more in depth today. What are the options?
This is good to watch you in a class.
Yeah.
Because you tell us don't panic and there's a way to do it.
No panic.
No
panic at all. So how did we do on our homework last night, friends? Do we have it all cut out?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Stabilized, all the things? I sure hope so. Because now we're getting ready to go into day 2, which we're going to do blocks 1, 2, and 7, if we have time on 7. The nice thing is that blocks 1 and 7 are the same exact blocks. They're done exactly the same.
Yes, they are.
In fact, all of the blocks really
I was going to say, once you do one, you got it.
Tomorrow's going to be even more of a piece of cake because we're just going to stitch out and talk
what
and
we've already
done
all the things.
Too. Exactly. And then Thursday and Friday we get into the borders. Ooh, Thursday's going to be a big one. So definitely follow along with the borders. And
do you know I had to redo one of my inner ones?
Why is that?
Because I did not have my hoop tight enough.
Did it pop out?
No, but it went all over.
Really?
Yep. I had a winding road.
You had a winding. Well, they say the road to Bethlehem was not a straight one.
True.
So
that's true.
There you go.
But I don't think they'd like it in their pillow like that.
Yeah, I guess not. In fact, speaking of, let's take a look. CJ's wanting us to turn on subtitles. CJ, guess what? At the bottom of the screen, your screen that you see in front of you, there'll be a little CC button. If you just click on that, the subtitles will come up.
Oh,
so,
good to know.
There we go. Okay. Let's see. Just okay. All right. So, what do we have here?
It even lights up. It worked.
Yes, it worked.
It was so easy.
So this is the one that Kyle did.
I've never done lights before, so I was really, really worried. I touched my mic. Sorry. I was really worried about doing them.
It's easy,
no big deal.
Not a problem.
But you will use every one of those little lights. I tried to skip the first one.
Oh, did you?
Had to redo
it. No, I have to use all of it. All of it. fact, let's get a little more up close here. I'm going to set aside my packets. All right. And
all right,
there we go. You can see how beautiful those lights add in. Yeah, so pretty. That I'm just so tempted to just come over here and turn off the lights, but just realized that that light was on. There we go. We're going to turn off the lights for just a moment of silence.
Woo, woo, woo.
So beautiful, right? Look at that.
Oh, that gives it.
Isn't that gorgeous? Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
I love it even more. I didn't know I could.
I know. And because you have that sand glittery applique at the bottom, that just adds another element of beauty. Oh my goodness.
The only thing I haven't finished up was the hay. I started fringing that.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to show them what it looked like not fringing it.
Oh, so half fringe, half not. Okay, well, that's awesome. Very cool. Isn't that gorgeous? So that is what we're doing today, folks. Thanks, Abby and Allie. We've got the dream team here today helping us with our project. So, all right, let's go ahead and
which
set
ones
that
are we doing?
aside.
This one?
Yeah, we're going to do 1 and 7 and 2 today,
okay.
which is the shepherd. So, all right, so we're going to talk about background quilting today. I'll move the camera up here. Okay, here we go. Hey, Allie. Oh, okay.
Really quick. Now we're back at it.
Okay, here we go. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 7. Barbara, there's captions if you will click on the little CC button at the bottom of your screen. Okay, so just right at the bottom there, just click on that and captions will appear. Okay, so what size needle? I just used just a
regular embroidery needle. 80-12?
80-12?
Is it 80?
Yeah, 80-12.
That's what I think I've got in mine.
70-10 will work, so no problem there. Okay. Good. Karen's excited about this project. Oh, speaking of, we got winners. We got winners from yesterday. Should we announce the winners first? Let's announce the winners first. So yesterday, don't bring it up on the screen quite yet. Let me give the little thing.
The anticipation.
Yeah, the anticipation. Drum roll. So every day this week, we are giving away prizes, and all you have to do is make a comment, and it enters you in to win. And we're giving away the Kimberbell tumbler.
I need one.
And the Kimberbell USB stick and the coveted Kimberbell
one
laptop
of those
bag. Yeah. So congratulations to yesterday's winners, and then tomorrow I'll announce the new winners for today. So we have it. Go ahead. Yeah. Ta-da! So yesterday's winners, we have, oh boy, I don't have my, I better come, okay. I'm like, I better come up closer to that screen. Okay. Here we go. The USB stick is Jennifer Leeson.
Yay!
The tumbler is Karen Mitchell.
Yay!
And the laptop bag is Lenny Herman.
Oh, yay!
So
I don't have that, and I don't have that.
Well, I know people.
Do you know people? Cool.
No, even though I know people, I don't even get it for myself. All right. So again, we'll be giving 3 more of these away tomorrow for being on here today.
Yeah, I'll take
these.
this.
Okay, perfect. All right. All righty. Let's go ahead and look back at the comments. Make sure we catch everyone before we go. Everyone's saying congratulations. That's awesome. Good. Hey, Miss Brandy. She's working on falling for autumn quilt while she's waiting on a few things. Ooh, awesome.
Ooh, yeah. That's a beautiful one,
so if you didn't get a chance to get all of your things cut yesterday, there's still time. So let's go ahead and get started with today. No, not a race at all. All right, my friends, I'm going to pull out my binder. This is big. Nice. And isn't it nice to have all these things in one place?
That's what I do.
Hey, Allie, or Abby, did you talk about when we need to hold this close? Which camera? Okay, perfect. All right. So with the machine, we had to move a few cameras. Yesterday
really?
we didn't have the machine in here. So
yeah.
all right. Are you all following along with me? Let's pull out your instructions.
Where's Nashi?
Nashi?
Is that Nashville?
Oh, probably Nashville. Yeah. There you go. Let's see, where are we at? We're on page 8. Okay, so we're going to start off with page 8. And then we are going to make block 1. Okay, so because I have my handy dandy pockets that we talked about yesterday, we were able just to pull out everything I needed, right, for block 1. Just pulled it right out. Easy, ready to go. This is why it's so convenient to be able to have those already cut. Take the time to cut beforehand. I promise you'll be a lot happier.
It's such a bummer if you have to go back and cut.
It really is. It really is, for sure. All right. Make a mental note here that it says the 5x7 hooping instructions are found in a separate PDF file. Instructions below are for a 6x10 hoop. So I did mention this yesterday as well. If you have a smaller size, that is completely fine. All right, that's totally fine to be able to do it, but there's a few extra steps. This week, I'm not going to be covering those extra steps, but next week, I will do a pre-recorded video that takes you through how to do it for those of you with 5x7 hoops.
Oh, nice.
But just know that during this week, we are going to do the hooping according to the 6x10.
Most of the steps are the same, right?
Yeah, they sure are. Now I went ahead and I printed out the 5x7 hooping instructions, and
which they can do too.
Absolutely, also. And it's not it's not hard, but excuse me, there are a couple extra steps for the multi hooping, but take it step by step, you'll get it, right? But I will do a video for you too as well. Okay, so today we're going to be working with the 6x10 hoop. So we've got our background fabric, and why don't you pull that out, Kyle?
The background fabric?
The background fabric should, I highly recommend that you have a fusible on the back. We like the Kimberbell fusible backing.
Just lays so nice.
Oh, it really does. Just gives a little more structure to your block, and it helps prevent puckering for sure. And then it does say on here to starch the palm tree fabric and press well. You could do that with, with Tyrrell Magic. You could do it with Best Press. So either way, it's going to be fine. I actually, when I stitched out the practice block that I wanted to make sure that I covered everything, I didn't use any, and I had no puckering or anything. So it was okay. Now I use Tyrrell Magic on my background because I always do. Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But here we go.
Even with the iron on the back of your.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. Yep. Sure did. It's like 2 layers of stabilization. You
can put this much effort into it. You want it to look good.
Exactly. That's exactly right. All right. And as I mentioned yesterday, we are going to be doing the block by block quilting. So for those of you who are not doing block by block quilting, that's great. No worries. There are option 2 is hooping instructions right here, and it tells you how to do the traditional hooping. Okay, but in class this week, we are going to do block by block because it is just so dang cute.
My goodness.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it.
You weren't sold at the beginning of block by block. You're like, I have a long arm. I can do this.
Why would I want to do that?
And then what happened?
And then I saw them and did them.
You said,
there was no turning back.
Wait a minute here.
I can have a block all done.
Exactly. So let's talk about, I wanted to illustrate what block by block kind of means, and I wanted to do it in a paper format. So let me give you a little brief instruction on what block by block means. So, all right, I went ahead and I printed out these 2 papers. Okay.
They don't have to do this.
No. This is simply for just instructional purposes only. Again, if you've been doing Kimberbell for a while and you've been doing block by block for a while, this is going to be piece of cake, right? But we want to make sure that everyone understands what's happening when we do block by block. So that's why I printed these 2 papers out, and we're going to talk about this for just a minute before we get started, before we go over to the machine. So in your instructions, it will say, for example, that we're going to use KDQ 232 stars, and I've got a thing here. Let's see, a little banner that will tell you. But it's also in the instructions, and it's found on page 8. Okay, this is under option 1. So it is KDQ 232 stars 4, and it's a 4x8 design. So that's what I printed right here.
And this is for the what size?
We're going to end up doing this in a 6x10 hoop.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, but if the design is smaller than that, it's just because we need enough room on the edges?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So what it's going to do, and we'll come down here to the cutting table, what it's going to do first is it's going to stitch a placement line. And again, this is going to make more sense once we go to the machine, but I want to just talk you through it for a minute. It's going to stitch a placement line for the batting, and we go ahead, put the batting there, then it does the tack down, and then we trim away the batting. But notice there's another line 1/4 inch outside of it. That's because that's the placement and tack down for our background fabric. Okay. So what we're going to do is then it tacks it down. And now if you think about it, the batting is not in those seam allowances, which is good.
Nice.
Right?
Yes,
because when we
that's a
sew
lot
it
of
all
bulk.
together, we want to eliminate the bulk.
Mhm.
So that's why you have those 2 lines there. But this is a 4x8 design. Okay. Again, we'll go through this. This will be a little repetitive, but I want to make sure everyone understands. Okay. So when we go to the machine, we'll talk about it again. All right. So this is my background quilting. If that's my background quilting, Kyle, I don't want my quilting to go over top of my applique, correct?
True.
Okay, so let's take a look at my block here.
Because it's background.
Exactly, it's a background. I don't want a star to go over that cute little lamb.
Because you puffed him out on
right?
purpose.
Exactly. So that's why we call it background quilting. It's in the background. Now, if I were doing a pieced on all over pieced quilt, oh, I would certainly, that's where, quilting is
That's
more like
different.
traditional quilting. It's totally different.
But last time you don't quilt over applique.
Exactly. So this one, we don't want to quilt over the applique, so that's why we put it in the background. So when we go to our machine, you can do this in software too, but you can also do it on your machine. I'm going to first bring this design in, okay? And second, and can we take a look at the comments there, Allie? Make sure if we have any questions. The second thing is I need to bring in the applique, right? So I'm first going to put in this on my machine, and then I'm going to put on top the applique.
You're adding it, right?
Yeah. So you can see here that the quilting is still in the background. There is no quilting over top. Now, again, I just printed these papers out so as a way of instructing all of us and giving us a better idea of what was happening at the machine. So here in a minute, we're going to go over to the machine. We're going to bring this in first. You always bring in your background quilting first, and then we're going to do the add button, and the add is where we place this on top. Does that make sense, Kyle? Okay.
I was so happy when I learned about that. Just add it.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's
before.
easy, right?
Yeah, it's so easy.
And you don't have to have special software to be able to do this.
No, it's just on my machine.
It's exactly. So let's head over to the machine. And again, we're going to be pulling up first. Let's see, we come over here. I'm going to find my background quilting files. So it's right here. And it is 232 stars. I am on the Baby Lock Altair 2 today, so I need to use the PES version.
That's your file, right?
That's your file format. So everyone's file format will be different. So you're going to touch the format that you need. And then you see I have 2 designs here. I have the 4x8 and I have the 6x8. But let's take a look at our instructions. What do they tell us to use?
4x8.
4x8. So that's the one I'm going to choose.
And it tells you right here on option 1, block by block.
Exactly.
They've divided it out, which is nice.
And I'm going to hit set. Now, here's a question for you, Kyle.
Oh, dear.
I know you know this answer,
Okay,
though.
good.
If, let's say, I didn't want that design. Maybe I wanted a different 4x8 design. Are there lots of 4x8 designs I could choose from?
There are different ones.
Different ones.
You could
on
make them
Kimber
all the
Bell?
same on this, or we have,
It could be different, yeah. Because all of these come in all these same sizes.
right.
Which
All
is
it
pretty
has to
cool.
be is
so
the,
you could
the right
substitute
size.
if you wanted to.
Mhm.
Okay. So let's see. Pat, so you need the background and the design on the same stick, or can it be on different ones? It could be on different ones.
Could.
Yeah, it would just be another step.
Yeah.
I like to keep them on the same
I
stick.
do too.
Right? Yeah.
That way I'm not looking through all my USBs.
Okay, let me see. Okay, so we've got that one. Then before I hit embroidery, let's come back over here to the machine.
Which background? It's your block number 1
We're on
background,
block 1. Okay.
which is the background is 6.5 by 10.5.
Okay, so let's take a look at the screen again. And I don't want to hit embroidery yet because I'm not ready to embroider. Before I embroider, I'm going to hit add. Okay, now your machine may look a little different. I don't know if this is catching. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay, on the screen it didn't look like it was catching the bottom, but I think we're good.
So it's showing all the lines up to
Or maybe zoom
background.
out just. Oh, there we go, Allie. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we're going block by block, Pat. Block by block, not clear blue tiles on this one. Although when we get to block 2, we've got some options. So I'm going to be able to share that with you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so is it showing the bottom of the screen now? I think, yeah, we're good. Okay, so I'm not going to hit embroidery. I need to hit add. So however your machine does add, that's what you're going to add it to. So I hit add. And I go, don't be afraid. You're like, oh, whoa, what just happened, right?
I panicked the first time I did it.
Exactly. Let's see. You have it in the number 1 USB.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm going to find now that shepherd. So I touch the little USB port to find my shepherd. Oh, Kyle, you got lots of fun stuff here, my friend.
I do.
What are we
That's what I
looking
do
at?
all day.
Nativity. Nativity. There we go. Okay, so I have the Nativity, and now I'm going to go to embroidery files. Again, I'm choosing PES because that's the format that my machine uses. And you have options here. If you only have a 5x7 hoop, then you can do the 5x7 hoop. But I am going to do the 6x10 hoop.
Because you're going to explain the 5x7 in a separate video.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then look, I've got it right here. Here's
Oh,
my
yeah,
shepherd, or my little lamb, excuse me, right here at the top. Okay. Now it brings this up. I'm going to hit set, and guess what? It's going to go right on top of my background quilting.
And
is this how you did yours, Kyle?
Yep. And you don't hit embroidery yet because you've got to make sure it's all lined up, right?
Yeah, so it looks pretty centered to me. Let's make sure that it should come in as centered. Yep, we're good. Okay. So, I mean, if you wanted to move it around, you could, but it looks like it just exactly the way it looks.
I never
right
moved
there.
mine once I put it on.
No,
I didn't need to.
It automatically comes in as centered. Unless the directions were to tell you, oh, you need to move it
It
this
will
way,
tell you
and
if
it
you
will
need.
tell you. Exactly. Okay, so does everyone see this? You see the background quilting, and you see the applique on top. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, and then all I do is hit embroidery. And I'm ready to get started. Okay, so that's how you do it over at the machine. I hope that helps explain. Oh, Kyle, could you help me? We didn't get that foot changed out from yesterday's 3 at 3.
I will find it.
Okay.
Yep, got it.
We got to get the embroidery foot on there, right?
Oh, I've embroidered without a foot. Doesn't go so well.
I've seen that on occasion, not from you, but there was one time I was watching a video on YouTube, and the gal had the sewing foot on for the embroidery. It worked.
It didn't look great.
It worked,
Mhm.
but not recommended.
No, there's a reason why.
That's right. Okay, so it tells us we're going to be using the light mesh cutaway stabilizer. So I'm going to go ahead and hoop that right now in my 6x10. Screw that a little bit.
What color thread do you want in?
The first one I'm going to use, let's bring this over. I can't remember which one I brought it up. Let's see. Quilting.
You gonna do your background first?
I'm using flat brilliant blue. We'll bring that up in a minute.
What color bobbin do you use?
I just use a white bobbin.
Okay,
I don't ever change my bobbins.
Thank you.
Only if you're going to see it from the other side, which we're not.
Or the special things that with the fringe.
Yep. That's when you would change bobbins, but no need to on this block. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go over thread colors in a minute, Melinda. Okay. So let's see. Yep.
You know, after I had my machine for a while, Lisa taught me that there's arrows on
yeah,
here.
that's why I was just checking. Did you all know
it
that
fits better.
Most of them, there is a proper way of that inner hoop fitting into the outer hoop. So match up your arrows. My
Euros. Euros.
Yeah, my euros. That's right. Okay, so
how tight do you need that?
I do it pretty tight.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to make sure that this baby ain't going anywhere, right?
If it pops out of the hoop, then it's a whole nother thing.
Exactly. Okay. Let's talk about thread colors. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so we're on block 1 and we're going to end up doing background quilting first. So I made sure to put in, I'm using the Hemingworth thread bundle. So I am actually doing the brilliant blue. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that in there. Let's talk for a minute about, choices here on when it comes to thread color. There's sometimes that I want the quilting to really stand out, Kyle, and sometimes I want it to just kind of fall a little bit more to the background, right? This was one of those times I kind of wanted it to fall a little bit more to the background. I didn't want it to overpower what the appliques were because it's kind of a busy design. So I personally chose brilliant blue. Okay, you don't have to. You could, if you want it to really pop and stand out, use a white or a light gray or a silver.
The color I used?
Yeah, I liked the color you used. Let's take a look at the one you used.
Oh, there's stars.
Okay. Yeah. So Kyle's, she used just like what color is that?
A little bit lighter blue.
Like a lighter blue, and I really like that too. So it's truly up to you. You know, don't get too fixated on having to have the exact color.
Yeah. No.
That maybe it calls for or whatever. In fact, that's why Kimberbell, they say a blue, a gray, they don't give specific
for that because otherwise I'm like, oh, go.
No, you don't.
I can't make it if I don't have it.
So I'm just giving these colors out as suggestions. Okay, purely suggestions.
And you've already put together a thread.
We have a thread bundle,
so you don't have to think.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, I do like that lighter blue. I really do. So because it's not overpowering.
No, I didn't want it to overpower.
Okay. All right. So on mine I use brilliant blue, but either way is going to be great. And again, it's totally up to you. I think if you wanted to do like a pretty silver metallic, that would be beautiful.
Could be pretty.
Too. All right. So let's go ahead and come back to the machine, Kyle.
Oh, you want me to push the buttons?
You go ahead.
I get to push your buttons?
Oh, you know how to push my buttons. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is put the foot down.
Okay.
And it's going to stitch the placement line for the batting.
Right.
So let's go ahead and do that.
It's magical.
Yeah, a good sparkle would work, Gloria. I like that.
You know, sometimes I try to get real cheap on my stabilizer,
I can't imagine.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No.
Just
put it in the
just
whole
put
hoop.
It's not worth it in the end,
it's
right?
not. It's not. No.
Oh. Now, if you remember, yesterday we talked about batting sizes, right? And if you forgot about that, then here's just a quick reminder, and we've got a banner on that, Allie, is that when cutting your background sizes, if you're wondering what size to cut my batting, not background, batting, you're going to want to cut, up a little bit higher. There we go, right there. Batting size, you cut a 1/2 inch larger than the finished size of the block. Okay?
What's that?
Well, we'll have a perfect example of that right now.
Okay.
So let's grab our
Where
batting.
did we put? Oh, it's
right
this
over
one.
here. Was that? Do you have 2 over there? There should be another one.
This is, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
First one.
Yeah. Okay. And when you put your batting down, you're going to make sure that you've covered all the lines. So I don't like to go right up against the line.
No.
I want to go a little bit beyond it. So Kyle, when you asked about why that was, it's so that we have a little bit to cut off.
Right.
Okay, we have something to hold on to when
you don't
we
want
trim.
your foot lifting up your batting.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so it's all put in there. Now I'm going to put my foot down, and it's going to do the tack down stitch. Now the tack down stitch is going to go over 2 times. Okay?
I like that.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a great thing, because then when we go to trim, we don't have to worry about it popping. Have you ever had something pop when you've trimmed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Anything
good, right?
you talk about today, I've done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, she was cutting her batting
good.
out a lot bigger.
Will you bring that comment up on the screen? Brandy said that was something new she learned yesterday, and she was, right there. Yeah, I did. Yeah, there we go.
Debbie.
For Sean and Brandy.
Oh.
There we go. Because she's happy that we taught that it only has to be a 1/2 inch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't have to fill the whole hoop.
No. Nope. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, and we're going to grab the
I don't know what scissors you want.
I like, let's see.
I do too.
Any of them.
Can't live without those.
Any of these babies. Let's go ahead and use the duck bill first. Okay, so the duck bill, we're going to have the duck bill towards the applique. Okay.
You know, I bought a second set of these.
Did you?
I couldn't find my other ones.
Oh.
And I might find them.
And now you'll find them, probably. If you're
That way I
like
can have one
me.
inside and in my shed.
There you go. In your she shed.
Uh-huh.
You and Crystal in your she sheds.
I know, they're wonderful. You don't
I
put
want
anything
one.
away.
Right.
You're cutting pretty close to that
Yeah.
line.
Yep.
But you want to.
You definitely want to, because the next line that's going to go outside of it is the placement for our background quilting. And go.
Can I tell you a secret?
And we want to make sure that we don't have the batting in the seam allowance. Yeah.
My friend, she tried doing it without doing the placement line for the fabric. She learned that wasn't a good idea.
Really?
Yep, she did.
You said,
She told me about it.
next time, friend, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's going to do a stitch out of the placement line for the background fabric. And then we know exactly where to put that. Okay.
And this
Now,
is step by step in the instructions, right?
Well, kind of. Not really, because we've skipped over that there. Okay, go ahead and hit that. This is for background quilting.
Okay.
Because we're doing background quilting first.
This is number 3.
But I'll tell you, this is what's nice. This is another new addition to what Kimberbell did. They used to have a separate, completely separate file for learning about how background quilting is done.
Yeah.
Now, if you take a look at this, it says
you can flip back and forth.
Page 33. So if I go back to page 33, this is a really good review if you've never, or as a new thing, for those of you who've never done block by block quilting, you have it all laid out right here in the same file. So I think that's pretty cool. I like that a lot, actually. Okay.
And if you print out all
So
your
we are
instructions,
doing
you can
that
flip
first.
back and forth pretty easy.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. So now let's take a close look at.
You don't need to take it out.
Nah, I think we should be good.
I think it's that one over
And
there.
okay. So you can see that we have a 1/4 inch outline around the batting. Okay, there's a 1/4 inch difference between the batting and the outside. And this is where I'm going to place my background fabric. And remember, I actually added some fusible backing onto it. Okay, so again, I'm not going to line it up straight against a line. I'm going to make sure it's centered around the line. So
Just
I
so
kinda,
there's enough going over the edges.
yeah.
You don't have to
Exactly.
measure anything.
Now we're not going to cut this out either, like we did with the batting.
No.
We are going to leave it just the way it is, and then we cut it out at the end when we go to trim our blocks down.
Cut it.
Yeah. So let's take a look at what's happening here. Okay.
Now
Sometimes I like to just do a little massage. Do you?
Oh, yes.
Do you ever massage your fabric too?
Yes.
You could use a little bit of paper tape if you wanted to, but I have found that this is just.
If you're sitting there with your machine,
yeah,
then you should be okay.
Yeah.
The minute you walk away.
Diana says she wants a she shed.
Yes, it's so much fun. Come and play, and we'll figure it out.
That's right. All right, let's take a look at our screen on our machine. And just so that everyone has an idea of what's about to happen, you can see right here on my screen that I've got all the stars. So this is where I'm like, get giddy, and I'm so excited. And I'm going to go ahead and stitch out the stars. And you know what, Kyle? I think I am going to grab a light blue, actually. Well, just so everyone can see it a little bit better.
That's a good idea.
Again, for purposes of the camera, this is actually going to show it better. So on the one I'm doing at home, I'm using brilliant blue. On the one I'm going to do here, I'm going to use.
Let me put that in. You
light blue.
About something?
Let's see.
Nope.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and
I'll put this back
grab
with
that. Notice I did not hem and haw over what blue it should be. I'm
this
like,
is the one I got.
Yep, that's the one I got. That's the one I'm
that'll be
using.
Pretty.
Okay.
Okay, one thing. On your little window right here, it's not showing your embroidery.
No,
because
it's only showing what is about to stitch. It's like the next stitch that's going to happen.
And then there's some circles in there that were wonderful. Because that's where you cut.
That's where the eyelets go, right?
I was wondering how I was going to do those.
Do the lights?
Yeah.
And it's not hard.
So easy.
Sometimes we make things so much harder than they need to be,
you think
right?
I blow things up in my head?
Okay, so while that's stitching out, we are going to take a look at what questions you have. Heather Marie, we totally agree with you. In fact, when we bring these up, will you bring it up on the screen too? When we talk about the comments. So Heather Marie just said, the minute I walk away, the machine goes crazy.
It doesn't.
Isn't it so true? It's like it knows, Kyle.
Yeah.
It knows things.
And you'll recognize something is up.
Yeah.
If it just makes a little adjustment.
Yep. Exactly.
I'm like, oh, stop.
Exactly.
And that's what you need to do is just stop the
Yep.
machine.
Yep.
And what do you do when something goes out wrong or your thread breaks? Do you just go, I'm done?
No. I worked too hard to call it quits.
Yeah. So do you take it out and
I might be done for maybe an hour.
Well, yeah.
If I have to, I might be done for maybe an hour or something. But
you take your thread and rethread it and check your bobbin?
Absolutely. Always. That's like the first thing you want to check. It's the TNT method. You check your thread first and your needle next and your tension last. And
needle.
Really, truly, I never mess with tension. It's seriously usually a thread or needle problem.
Or your bobbin has run out.
So, yeah. So we call it TNT, like a bomb's going to explode, but don't let it, right?
Yeah.
It's check thread, check needle,
like that.
and then you're good. Oh, isn't that so beautiful? Okay, so someone was asking about how to combine the designs. Earlier in the video, I showed how to do it on the machine. So you can go back and watch that after this is over, or just remember we are going to be going on to block number 2 after this, and I'm happy to, yep, not a problem. Okay. What other questions? Okay, go ahead and bring that one up. Let's see. So the design Kris is using right now comes, in the appropriate sizes for all of them. It comes in the appropriate size for what is called for in the pillow.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the ones that I have, but that's the sample ones that they sent to us.
Yeah, it is.
As shops. Maybe it comes in all the sizes. I don't know. Maybe someone out there who's gotten this.
What other size would you do?
Well, if you wanted to use it for other projects.
Okay.
Besides this one.
Yeah.
So, but as shops, we were able to receive like sample files to make the samples.
We could get it done.
Maybe, yeah. Let's see.
Also, you could pull other.
Diane, you're right.
Background designs.
Exactly. You could totally pull in other ones. Diane says she was having a problem the other day. She finally changed her needle and it ran perfectly. It's true, Diane. It makes such a difference.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the slightest little bend in a needle, we can't even see with the naked eye.
Or it's got a little nick.
Or a little nick or a burr or something. Exactly.
That change of a needle, how much is one needle?
Not much.
Makes a world of difference.
Not much. About $1 is all. So take the time to change your needles. It does come in multiple sizes. Okay, good. Thanks, Tracy. So it does.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Sorry, I didn't have them all on there because I did the ones that
we only had the sample ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does come in all the sizes. Oh, Kimberbell's so good.
What needle size do you recommend?
We're just using an 80-12 needle, Anne Marie, but you can use.
It does really good.
You know, I think I probably wouldn't use a 90-14. I think that's probably too big. It'll leave too big of a hole. So, or a 70-10 would be good.
Okay. You need to go and study about the needles again.
Oh, well, yeah, needles are a whole nother thing.
Make a world of difference.
Yes, they do.
Also, I had regular thread in the bobbin. It wasn't going so well.
Wasn't going so great.
Nope. So I checked the bobbin, I checked everything and changed the bobbin out. And it helped.
Good to know. Misty's asking what's our favorite needle brand. We sell Class A, which is great, but I love the Oregon needles as well.
Ooh,
Oregon.
And
we use those a lot on our Janome machines.
Nice.
Okay, friends.
Oh, take time to clean the lint out too.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. I don't normally have to pull this out, but I'm going to pull it out just so you can see this beautiful
design. Because yours
design.
cuts the thread and everything, right? When you're done.
Look at that. Yeah. Isn't that gorgeous?
Do you know what I like?
I kind of like the light blue.
There's no jump strings I have to
No,
cut.
there are no jump threads. Nope. So again, it depends on what you're going for.
This would work for 4th of July stuff too.
Yes, it would. See, think outside the box and go, ooh, I'm going to hold on to this design. I'm going to use it for a 4th of July. So this one obviously is not going to show up as well on camera. And that's why I wanted to switch to this so it would show up more. But this one is still, the Brilliant Blue is beautiful.
It is
in person. Pretty. It just adds like another element of texture. You just don't see it as much, right, as this. So it's totally up to you. Okay. All right. Now is when the other part of the magic begins, because again, if you're following along, I'm on page 8. And this is where we now start the regular embroidery instructions. Okay. Okay, hold on just a second. Okay, awesome. So this one is now, Kyle, we're going to start with the first step and the second step. But I want to point something out. This does not mean that it's going to say step 1, step 2 on your machine. No. And the reason for that is because we added background quilting.
We've already got
so
those
now
steps.
those numbers are going to be off.
Yeah. So
Okay.
don't rely on.
So don't rely
that.
on the numbers.
Read your instructions.
Just read it step by step. You know what? When I first taught an embroidery class, you know what I had people do? I gave everyone a piece of candy.
Oh, and put it right there. But then you
This
eat
is
it.
taking me back to my education days.
Oh, you could eat it as soon as you finish that one?
Yes. Well, no,
Oh.
you moved it with the instructions. Well, because sometimes
when you finish, you
we
get to
lose
eat
track
it.
of where we are.
I know.
Now, you guys have all done it so much you don't need to worry about that. But if you're ever having trouble, like going,
oh yeah,
what step was I on again? And the numbers aren't matching up because they're not. They won't, because we have background quilting that we added to that file, right? So,
But you can also see on your little screen what you're doing next.
Exactly. So just follow along. Now, here's another thing I'll tell you. We're going to use flexi foam here in just a minute. And, I think that I have that in the number 7 pocket. Okay.
7.
And it's going to first do an outline for, where that little lamb goes. Okay. Now, I could keep the same thread color in just because I would be lazy and just go, I'll just do that.
Okay,
but it could get mixed up with your quilting if you're not careful. So again, you best. So do what makes sense to you. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch out for my next color right now, because this is what I'm going to end up stitching for the lamb. Again, this is my personal choice, but you could choose anything you want. And so we're on block 1, the lamb, and I'm using Hemingworth 1133 brown sugar. Okay, that's the thread I've chosen. So let's go ahead.
Is that the piece you wanted?
Yes, thanks. So that's what we're going to use. So Kyle's just going to cut that out. Here, you want to use scissors? Or, okay, you're good there.
I don't run it through the.
No,
disc.
that's a good habit to get into, is to not run it through the discs, for sure. Yeah, you're right, Lila. That's just more numbers we have to think about, but you're absolutely right. In fact, would you put that up on the screen, Allie? That Lila said, if you deduct 5 from number on screen, it will give you the correct number.
Oh, because there's 5 steps to the background quilting?
Yeah, because there's 5 steps. So again, what makes sense to you, for sure. Okay, so now that we have the thread changed out, I'll go ahead and slide this into the garage and close the garage door. And we're going to put our foot down and start.
Press the gas.
Press the gas, exactly. Okay, so again, this is a placement outline for the lamb. Do you see, Kyle, that it is kind of nice? I changed colors just so that it's easier to see. And you might as well. You're going to have to change colors anyway.
Yes.
Here, real quick. Okay, so I'm going to use this little piece of flexi foam. This is what's going to give that lamb some added dimension.
So
put the foot down.
If you by accident didn't change from the blue on that step you just did, it won't matter.
It wouldn't matter. No, not at this point. Not at this point. Now, the nice thing, and we'll talk about this here in just a second as I come back to the cutting table, and we're going to trim this away. The nice thing is that in the Kimberbell instructions, they actually give a little box, and I'll point that out here in a minute.
Yeah.
And if you're following along, you can see the colored boxes that give you a suggestion, I should say, of what thread colors to use. Okay, I'm going to use my little snippers on this one. I love these guys. This is like my favorite pair.
Yes, can't live without them.
And maybe this would be a good time to show this. Let me see. I'm going to come over here to this camera. All right, so if you're following along, you can see that if there is a little box right here that has lines through it, it means that it doesn't matter what color thread you use. Okay, it just doesn't matter, because it's usually a placement line or a tack down stitch. And then when you come here and we start doing the other parts of the applique, if it matters, it's going to show those colors right there. So this is more of a brown. When we come over here, it's a darker brown. So that is what's nice. Okay. All right. Tina says she uses whatever the design is in my color thread. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we're going to trim this away. And again, you want to try and get close to the stitch line.
Yeah, without cutting it.
Without cutting it.
What do you do if you do cut it?
You cry and scream.
Yeah.
No.
No. Because you're going to tack it. It's going to be stitched down again.
Over. Yeah. So if it ends up
as long as you don't do too many.
Exactly. If it's just a little pop here or there, you're going to be just fine. Okay. So as a reminder, if you had purchased the background quilting files, all of the sizes come with it, not just the ones that we're showing today, which is pretty dang awesome. And like Kyle said, this would be great for a 4th of July quilt or something, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and put that in. And it's now going to do a placement stitch for the lamb so that we know where to place our fabric.
Okay.
So you see those boxes are way too small?
Yeah.
Grab that magnifying glass, my friend. All right. Okay. So now it's done a placement outline for where to place my fabric. I'm going to go ahead and take this piece right here and just place it over top. Now, this, a lot of times, can you grab me the paper tape, please? Oh, it's right over here. A lot of times they'll say, you know, use paper tape to hold it down.
It's a good idea.
I usually don't, except for times like this one. If I'm going to be going over flexi foam,
yes,
I usually put a
because
little
everything
piece of
isn't
tape.
laying flat.
Exactly. So, you know, sometimes we get in a hurry and we say, oh, we don't need it. Well, there's times when you do. And this would be one of those times.
You don't want to pucker in your little sheet.
Exactly. So this is going to prevent that fabric from puckering. Again, it's going over twice. Okay, and then we're going to cut this. Okay, come back over here. Now, oh, here's a thing that people are asking. On direction number 4, we stitch the lamb tack down line.
And that's what you just did, right?
Apply fray preventative product to the lamb fabric along the tack down line and allow it to dry. And then you trim close to the stitch line. I'm going to be honest, I didn't use it.
I didn't either.
So if you know, that's again entirely up to you. But I did not use fray check on this. I just went ahead and cut it. Now,
if the little threads make you crazy, then do it.
Then do it. Yeah. There's a couple of things you could do here, though, Kyle. If another way, instead of using like fray check, if you wanted to make sure and have thing like fabric that wouldn't fray as much, you could add Tiro Magic to it.
Oh, before you even stitch it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the reason why they have that direction, and it's a good one for those of you who are concerned about the little threads poking through. But I have them all trimmed. I think it looks good. I'm ready to do it. And, you know, a little lamb does have a little hair.
Did anyone notice on my pillow?
No.
No.
And I didn't even notice on mine. So, again, it's something not to get too concerned about. All right? But you certainly could. And don't worry about the fray check. It dries clear. Your needle's going to go through it just fine.
Yeah, it's not gummy.
So, no, it's going to be just fine. All right. Okay, so now that we have that cut out, someone said they love these. Yeah, these are perfect for cutting little things like that.
Try doing it with bigger scissors. No way.
Sure. Yes. And then now we're going to go ahead and put it back in. It's going to stitch the lamb decorative outline, the head fill, and the legs fill.
And it's so cute.
And again, I'm just have the same color thread in. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and answer some questions while that's stitching out.
Or fusible.
Diane said that she backed hers with fusible backing and sprayed them. No problem. Yeah, you could do that. Absolutely.
That's what you did with your backgrounds.
That's what I did with my backgrounds. But yeah, the Tyrrell Magic, fusible backing, any of that, or a combination of the two is great. Again, I want to reiterate that if you're using Tyrrell Magic, use a misting spray bottle. It will make the biggest difference.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't want big drops.
You know, Sable, that's a good question. I don't know if there's an expiration on Tyrrell Magic. I honestly do not know.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. Is there we have one around here somewhere.
I took mine back down. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. I am not sure, Sable. I guess the best bet would be to try it out on something and see.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Okay. Oh, that's a great idea, Jermaine. She is thinking of trying felt for the lamb and the camel.
That'd be cute.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. You could do minky, would be really sweet too. So, you know, lots of options here. Okay.
I love the fact that they're puffy.
Yes, a little added dimension, right? Yeah. We don't want a flat sheep or lamb.
No, they're fluffy.
A nice fluffy one. Let's see. Diane said she had an old bottle that developed a bad smell. Yeah, well, that's the case for sure. All right. Yeah, you are right. Lottie Scrap says wash away topper can get old. She bought a new roll and it's so much better. That is true. And did you know when it comes to wash away topping, you really should store it in a resealable bag. Okay?
Because it gets brittle.
It can get brittle and then it's just no use. So, yay, Gayla says her lamb is turning out cute.
Really cute. I like the stitch that it does around it.
It's a kind of a candle wicking stitch. So it's different than a satin, and which again adds just another element of, you know, something unique. All right. Good morning, Candy. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see.
First Kimberbell project.
Marvel says that the Nativity bench pillow will be her first Kimberbell project.
Wow.
She's new to embroidery as well. I learned about your quilt shop just recently too. The tips and suggestions have been so helpful. Well, thank you, Marvel. I'm so glad you're here.
She's smart to do this for her first project.
Yeah, it's a great first project for sure. Yeah.
I found this one was so easy. There wasn't a lot of different fabrics that I could get all confused on.
Right.
And
a lot more straightforward on this project, right?
And you're going to learn all the steps that you need, even if you had 15 different fabrics.
Right. Exactly. It's just the same idea, right? So yeah, Nanette, I'm running to get a bag for my wash away topping.
Good idea.
Yeah, it is. It will dry out, so you definitely want to keep it in a bag. Oh, Janice says there is an expiration date on the bottom of the Tyrrell Magic.
Oh,
well, there you go, Sable. All right. Yeah, Sherry says it's fun to see this come to life. It really is. Oh, Gayla, good luck. She's trying to finish her shout hooray by her daughter's birthday.
Oh, nice. Oh, I hope that's like in January.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and just keep it in there.
You don't have to take it out.
No, we're ready to move on to the palm tree. And well, you know what? Actually, I am going to change it out because this is why. Because I do everything Kimberbell tells me to do. No, we all know that's not right.
Kim is laughing hysterically.
Kim is cracking up right now. No, because it does tell us to stitch the placement line, and it has a darker thread. So, and there actually is a reason for that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and.
You want me to cut it?
Yeah. Okay, we always get in the habit of cutting at the top, trimming your thread at the top, pulling through the bottom.
Because it does not waste that much thread.
No, if you pull
it saves your discs.
The opposite way, it could get caught in your tension discs, and that's not a good idea. Okay, so on mine, and I don't know, Kyle, what you used on yours. Yours is actually darker. I used, on my palm tree, I used 1171 Champagne. Okay, so that's block 1.
Wait a minute, what one am I putting in?
This one right here.
Oh. I put this one in.
By the way, are you all familiar with Hemingway threads? We love them because they're not messy.
No.
They have this cap on. You keep the little rubber top. My thread comes out there. I keep this on the machine. It's perfect. So,
okay.
Oh, I did get it caught
You
down
got
here.
it caught.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, make sure it comes off real good.
All righty. So let's take a look. Excuse me, while she's threading that, at my block here. Excuse me. I better get some water. I chose a champagne color to have it stand out more.
Water. There are cups over here.
Oh my goodness. On this one, Kyle chose a dark. I am so sorry.
Abby's getting it.
She's giving me some water. Oh, wow. No, and that little, oh, Allie's got some. Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay, let's go ahead and
stitch it?
Let's stitch out that placement line. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Allie. You probably can hear the ice. Much better.
All right.
Much better. Okay. So we are doing a placement outline for the palm tree. And
now, why did you change the thread? Why was that important right now? Oh, we're not putting.
Oh, the reason, that's a good question. I'll tell you why we decided that was important. Let's come up close to my stitch out right here. It's not that big of a deal, but just know that underneath, because this is not a full satin stitch on the palm leaves, it's a zigzag stitch. It's an open zigzag, so the density is a lot less, so it's whatever's underneath that's going to show. So it wasn't a huge deal because these colors are so close together, but if it was going to be a bigger deal, then yeah, you would definitely want to change, because that's going to show. Okay, Kyle, let's go ahead and take that darker brown fabric right there.
And I'm just making sure it covers all the stitch out.
Yes.
Right?
Just make sure that it's completely covered. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll go ahead and stitch the tack down.
I don't get near as nervous when I'm doing this at my desk.
Debbie's asking if there's two different colors, thread colors on the tree. No, it's all one color. Okay. Isla, this is easy, my friend. You got this.
Is she saying it's easy?
She says you make this look easy.
It is.
And she said, if only.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, Isla, you can do this.
Yeah. It's one step at a time. It's how you eat an elephant, right?
Exactly.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. One step at a time.
And now it's going around a second time. Tack it down.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Okay.
You're right. She does make it all look easy. But you will be honest.
Oh, absolutely.
When something isn't easy.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, Kyle, let's go ahead and pull that out, and we're going to bring not too soon, right? Yeah. we're so excited. I'm the same way. I'm like, it's like, no, you're not taking me out yet.
The machine will not like that.
No. All right, friends, I'm going to use these babies again because I love the snippers, and because it has this elongated blade here, it's really going to help you get into these curves. So let's go ahead and pull our fabric up and just kind of run it right along the edge. See how I can get right in there, Kyle?
Nice.
Are these which scissors are your favorite?
Those.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I won't sit down and do a Kimberbell project or any embroidery without those.
Yeah.
That's why I had to buy another one. I couldn't find my others.
Okay, so would you believe, total tangent, but we're just cutting this out, right?
Okay.
So I went to Baby Lock Tech back in August, and we were in a class, and it was they had us do applique.
Okay.
They had, now, you know, I get it. I've done plenty of events, so I'm not trying to trash on Baby Lock.
No, no,
that's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling you that in the classroom, they did not have the best scissors. They were like little scissors like you'd get from a classroom.
Oh, okay. Not
like
curved or anything.
School scissors. I couldn't do it.
To make your project successful, you have to have all the right
some
tools.
Kimberbell scissors in here. and you know, I was giving Mike Johns a bad time because we're friends and we can do that to each other. He's like, I know. I'm like, dude, you cannot be using these school scissors. You can't get a close enough cut.
No.
And my project turned out horrible.
Well, yeah,
it was
you don't
not
have the right
a fun
tools.
Experience. Exactly. It's all about having the right tools. All right. There we go, friends.
That looks
good. That is all cut out. Yeah, not too bad.
Because sometimes they leave it and don't have a decorative stitch around the outside edge.
Right.
And you've got to have good scissors for those.
Exactly. And these just help you get, I mean, it has a curve, so you just get up nice and close. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to put it back in the machine. And yes, we are using champagne on this one. I think, it has such a beautiful sheen, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And there's two different stitches used in this step.
There are two different stitches. We've got a satin stitch going on the trunk, and then we have kind of a zippered
zigzag. I'm like, I didn't know there was a zipper.
You know, and a zigzag. Yeah, on the palm leaves, which is really pretty. Okay. Marilyn is loving the background quilting. It really is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It really is. Tina loves her snips. Where's, let's see.
Where did it go? That you were fast?
That I was fast? Oh.
I'm watching this like, what the? So fast.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, and I can chew gum at the same time.
Whoa.
Amazing. And talk.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Notice I don't have gum in. Okay, here's the thing, Kris. We just ran out of bobbin.
Oh, that happens, doesn't it? Okay.
And it didn't go all the way to the end, but I'm not going to mess with that. I've tried it.
Okay, Gail, this is going to give you a chance to get caught up, right?
Good idea.
We're going to change out the bobbin and get a new one in here. Oh, I wish we had some pre-wound.
I know. I can go down and get one.
No, I can.
I've got some wound.
I can be a big girl
and
wind. Yes.
Here's a bobbin that you can.
Okay, let me see.
Bobbin thread.
Oh, ha ha ha! Da 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 da!
Yay!
Look what I found!
Yay!
I found some pre-wounds.
Did you notice I didn't panic?
Life is good.
I didn't panic.
You didn't panic?
No,
because you turned it over to me.
Yeah,
that's why.
Because I know people.
That's right.
I know the right people.
Oh man.
Oh, and getting those off.
This is the hardest part, is getting the thread to start. Okay, I'm going to grab another one because I got no time for that. All right, let's pull this one out. There we go.
Good
job.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to trim this little piece off so it doesn't get caught.
Nothing gets tangled. Okay, so I stopped it right when it told me. Cut the thread, and now what do?
We're just going to start again.
You don't have to go back any stitches?
Well, no, no. You don't have to, but for good measure, I usually do.
Okay.
Now, if a thread breaks, absolutely, because it was getting pulled and everything. But when bobbin thread runs out, you really don't have to, because it really did do the thread all the way up until, it did it. But again, if you want to go a few steps back, let's take a look at the machine. And let me show you how that's done. I'm going to go to my plus minus on the needle, And I'm going to go back about 10 steps is all.
That's all you had to do?
Yeah,
And I'll stitch right where it was.
exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I think we're good there.
Okay.
Yay for pre-wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Some machines don't like pre-wounds. Sometimes people have some problems with pre-wounds. So it just kind of depends.
And do you have to put bobbin thread in the bobbin, or can I just use my embroidery thread?
You could use embroidery thread.
Good, because that's what I do sometimes.
You're going to get really good results if you use
Bobbin
the
weight.
bobbin weight thread. Okay, so if you have an embroidery sewing combo, then you want to use a 60 weight bobbin thread usually. If you have just an embroidery machine only, then a 90 weight thread seems to work the best.
Okay.
But if I'm doing, and you can get 60 weight and 90 weight in different colors, but your colors are so limited.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes if I'm doing a project that needs to have the certain color on it, I'll just use my 40 weight.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. And also, when I don't have pre-wound bobbins, I'll wind like 4 at a time.
Yes, excellent suggestion. Just get it done.
It irritates me.
It's kind of like the cutting process.
Yes,
Aren't
prepared.
you so much happier if you have it done beforehand?
I don't have to go through all my fabric and find the color I need and the size.
And so do the same thing. Take the time to do the same thing with
because look, that
with
didn't
your
take us any
bobbins.
time.
No. And just wind 4, 5, 10 at a time. You'll be so glad you did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Shelly buys Philtech. That's the one we are using too, I believe. Philtech? Yep, Philtech. Clear glides. We love these. Yeah, isn't Allie doing a great job? Shout out to Miss Allie. She is
she's blushing.
Doing awesome. Yes. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. Tina, your meridian only likes the 90 weight. And that's because it's an embroidery machine only. So that's why.
Ah.
Yep. And Gayla said before she started buying pre-wound bobbins, she would wind 20 at a time. Smart. Well, it reminds me, and I'm probably going to completely mess up this analogy. There's an analogy out there that has nothing to do with sewing, but the principle is still the same, okay? Oh, is the focus off? Oh. Okay, so the analogy of, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but oh boy, I'm going to totally mess this up.
This is like telling a joke.
Exactly. There's something about, like, if you're going to go out and saw a tree down,
okay,
in the forest, you've got to not cough.
Oh no!
My goodness. Okay. It's better to take the time beforehand to sharpen the saw.
Yeah.
Because you could be out there a lot longer later.
Oh, yeah, because you're just chewing at the tree.
Exactly. You can keep chewing at the tree. It's the same with a cutting blade, right?
Yes.
Are we sawing that fabric? We just get a new
When
blade.
I ching it, I'm like, why did I torture myself? I can make it work.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, Debbie Hillstead has an excellent question that I'm happy to talk about. She's asking, we'll move it up to the top, right there. Okay. Because a lot of people ask this question.
Where'd Debbie go?
Let's bring that up a little bit. Okay. Do you reuse the pre-wound bobbin to fill up a spool of bottom line? Okay, when she's saying bottom line, for those who might not know what that is, that's a brand of thread that for bobbins. Okay. Or do you just toss them and use the bobbins your machine requires? I'll be honest with you.
Okay, good.
I have refilled it. But the recommendation is that you toss them.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Pre-wounds?
After they've been used, you toss them. It won't have the exact tension that you can get with your machine and with the actual bobbin.
Now that I know this, I'm going to be aware.
Okay.
Wow, that's changing.
So in a pinch, I have used them. But again, and this is absolutely true. If you start having issues with, you know, your thread and with tension and stuff, it's probably because you reused a pre-wound bobbin.
Okay, but you can use the regular bobbins over and over that you have bought for your machine.
For the specific machine, you want to, as much as possible, use the ones that have been, you know,
that are for
designed.
the baby lock.
Yeah, they've been engineered a certain way, right?
Okay.
So yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Gloria's, she used to use the pre-wound bobbins, but heard the same thing, so now she tosses them. Yeah. I most of the time I will toss them, but if I'm in a pinch and I don't have a bobbin, I will just go ahead and use one. Okay. But if I have problems, then that's why. Okay. So it sounds like the Wi-Fi is kind of rough going in and out.
You know what?
Right
we're
now.
having trouble.
This is why we're having
over at
trouble.
my house.
Darn.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. Okay, so hopefully you guys will stick with us and hang with us through this. Okay. Oh my goodness, Sue said she had a pre-wound bobbin explode while trying to wind more thread.
Oh, I don't want to hear these because that'll happen.
It will happen. Okay, friends, let's move on. We are finished with the palm tree, the satin, and let's take a look at that. That's beautiful.
It is really pretty.
And now we're getting ready to place the large star mylar. Okay, look at that. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? I love that. That is really pretty.
It's really pretty.
Okay, so what we're going to do next is it's going to stitch the outline for the gold mylar star. And on mine, I used metallic thread. Dun, 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 dun,
Ooh,
dun,
scary,
dun, dun.
scary.
Okay, let's see what happens here.
That comes in the thread kit, right?
I figured this was such a small area that I shouldn't have too much trouble. And I really didn't.
I didn't
when I did it at home. Of course, it'll happen today when I'm live with everyone that it will break. But
of course.
And if it does, there's ways around that.
Yep.
Just
and keep going.
So we'll talk about that too as we stitch this out, shall we? Always good to learn a few little
No,
things.
You don't have to change your needle.
No need to change needle on this. Again, it's such a small stitch out that I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so the first thing that's going to stitch out is
placement.
The placement, yeah. And Allie, could you bring up the thread color on the screen, please? And then there. All right. And I'm going to use this beautiful shiny mylar.
Ooh,
isn't that beautiful? So that's found in your embellishment kit. And with the embellishment kits, you're going to just cut these up into 1.5 inch squares as outlined in the directions. And I'm just going to place it right over top. Now, I'm also going to use a little bit of paper tape here.
Yes.
Okay, because this is slippy slidey, right? Now, they also suggest you putting topper. I didn't use topper.
I did.
Okay, did
I
you?
Obeyed
so
on that one.
You obeyed.
So
I didn't have it handy with me last night, and so I was like, it'll be okay.
I don't think you'll notice any difference.
No. But
and you left that big enough because you're going to stitch. Let's see. No, you'll pull it off before you do the rays on your star. Right?
What's that?
The rays on your star.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And at this point, now that it's been stitched out, I'll go ahead and remove the tape. And I'm going to just remove, look at that. It just pops right off.
Nice.
Okay. Just tear it away. How easy was that? So you don't need to take scissors and cut it out. It's just going to do it on its own.
There's a piece on the sheet.
Oh, little lamb has
You don't want
some
that.
metallic. No. Okay. So now it's going to do the outline. And I'm excited to see this stitch out. So Terry Lynn is wondering what the name of the quilt is displayed on the wall. This is called Cabins, Corner Cabins, something. Backcountry Cabins. And it's from the book Rollin' Along, which is a jelly roll book, all about using 2.5-inch strips.
Isn't that a jelly roll?
Yeah.
And then the background.
Isn't that fun? Look at the how the roofs are done with strips.
Oh,
so
they
cool.
are.
Yeah. So cool. Okay, friends, I'm going to pull this out just again so you can see here. Yeah, the metallic is in the thread kit that we put together. Look how pretty. Shiny. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and stitch out the other remaining smaller stars, and I'm just going to go ahead and keep the metallic thread in. Okay.
But you don't have to use the metallic, what do you call that? The shiny?
No, the rest is not with the Mylar.
Because they're smaller.
Yeah, the large star is done with the Mylar, which really gives a beautiful sheen to it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then the smaller stars are just with thread only. Okay. All right. The name of the pre-wound bobbins, Jean, is Filtech. So Filtech is the ones that we use. Clear Glide. And I believe we have them on our website, and maybe someone can link those. If we don't, then we should.
I would definitely get a kit.
Oh, Deb, you need a kit, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to want a kit for sure. By the way, we ran out of fabric kits.
We did?
Yesterday, yes. We made a call to Maywood Studios.
Okay.
We're able to get some more.
Oh.
And they will be here hopefully by the end of the week is what they're telling us.
Oh, we had a ton.
Oh, yeah. We had a ton. So
wow.
we've got a few more coming. So if you would like to be on that list to get those, then when you go to the web, oh, it just unthreaded.
Yep.
Let me go ahead and.
There's the scissors.
Okay. Oops. Let me make sure that it's still on the website. Kyle, would you mind asking how?
Yep.
And saying, let's make sure it's.
Oh, yeah.
That would be great. Thanks. Just make sure that the thread kit is.
For the Nativity.
Or not, excuse me, not the thread kit. The fabric kit is still on so that they can say notify me when it's in stock. Okay.
Yeah, when I walked out to get your water, my mic was still on.
Oh. All right. Oh, thank you, Sharon. So glad you're here. Yeah, these are always good reminders, right? Even if you've been stitching for a long time, really good reminders. Yeah, Barbara said she's so glad she got a kit.
Mm-hmm.
She usually does her own thing, but this one is so pretty. Love the blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the blues are really stunning for sure.
It's not a navy blue. It's just beautiful.
It's just a beautiful blue. Like that.
I love the fact that it's back
blue.
there blinking.
Okay. So it looks like Hal is getting that up on the website right now. So usually when things go out of stock, we end up taking it down for a short time, but we're going to go ahead and keep it up. Do I have metallic in my hair?
You did. It just went fluttering to the
I
ground.
just heard a little crinkle in my hair. And so that's why, we're going to make sure it goes up. It is out of stock right now, but it's supposed to be in later this week from Maywood. And they were very limited on their numbers too.
Were they?
Yeah. So we were able to get a few more. Okay. So last on this block is the eyelets. Okay. I'm going to be using Brilliant Blue for this. Okay. So I'm just going to pop this off. Oh, I forgot to have the thread hanging out. There we go. See the thread that just hangs out? And then,
I never remember to leave that on.
you don't?
No, I should. It's a good
It's
idea.
so much easier. So much
Then
easier
there's not
just to leave
threads
it on.
going everywhere in my drawer.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what it's there for, is that little rubber stopper just is the best invention ever.
Then they don't get dusty either.
Exactly. Now on this one, I would suggest doing a brilliant blue, okay? For sure, because it's going to be the same. You want it to just kind of match in with your background fabric.
I wanted to see your face.
Oh. Okay. Hi, Miss Fern. Fern, she's almost done with hers.
No, I'm all done.
She was doing the borders.
Really?
Last
they
night.
were fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you make
Sandy,
these a
you do
different
not
color.
need to have clear blue tiles in order to do the background quilting.
No.
Nope.
Comes. You can buy a whole set of background for this specific project.
Right. Exactly. Oh, Fern finished it, she said.
I'm not surprised.
Awesome. Okay.
I even put the zipper in. I love
you.
I love the fact that they now have zippers. Now I need to change out all mine.
Right. But will you?
No.
No.
Besides, that hangs nicely on the wall.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that was another genius.
That's a game changer.
They just keep getting better and better and better. So, yeah.
If I do another pillow, I will definitely put a zipper in it. And they made it easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Not bad, right?
I was a little bit afraid, but I did it.
We sometimes scare ourselves, but not bad at all.
No.
Okay, my friends. Now, this is really important. Okay, so listen closely. It's so important that it's even highlighted in your book on page 9.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And it is that you do not stitch this next step.
Why?
Okay?
Why do they have it in there then?
Well, it's for purposes of digitizing. It's a total, I don't understand, but it's some kind of digitizing thing.
Okay.
For the digitizers
people that are smarter than me.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like, I don't have to understand all the things. I just know
all you have to do is say, don't have to do this. And
I'm like, done deal, right? So, so do not stitch that last step, and you're good.
And I didn't.
So, but if you did, would it be the end of the world?
Probably not.
No.
You
just take it out.
Yeah.
No big deal.
And so we did not get that satisfying little jingle.
Right. If you want the satisfying jingle, let's see. I think I can make that happen, Kyle.
Okay.
No, I can't. Sorry.
Oh.
No satisfying jingle for you. All right, my friends. There we go. There's our first block. All right. So numbers 2 and 7, we're doing the exact same thing. 7 is going to be exactly like this, except the little lamb's on the other side. So this is going to be your homework tonight, is to finish 1 and 7 and then 2. Now, because of time, we are going to go into block 2, but we're going to kind of do it a little bit differently this time, because I want to be able to show you or talk through with you, what do you do when you don't have a hoop that is large enough? There's options, right?
Oh.
And I'm going to record a special class just on this.
Okay.
But I want to make sure and go over it with all of you, because maybe you're going to find yourselves in this position, okay, with this block number 2. All right. We are going to trim this as well. And should we do trimming as we go, Kyle, or should we wait till trimming? What do you guys want to do?
I always wait.
Do you wait till the end?
I do. But I have to trim all this extra off because that makes me crazy.
That's going to drive you nuts, right?
All
right. Should we talk about trimming? Do you guys want to talk
Probably
about trimming? Let's
that
talk
way
about
they
trimming.
can look at it.
Let's grab.
You need that? Rotating mat?
Orange pop rulers, another game changer in the industry, I think. Rotating mats, love, love, love.
Yeah.
Leanne, we don't need to do anything with the eyelets until Friday.
Yep.
Friday is when we do something with the eyelets. Okay.
Just make sure they're stitched out.
Yes, make sure that they're stitched out. Exactly. Yep. Okay. So again, right here, these are trimming instructions.
I like that they have it right there.
It tells us exactly that we need to cut it to be 4.5 by 8.5. And we're going to use orange pop rulers to do this. And the tree trunk is 1/4 inch above the inner bottom edge of the larger ruler. All right, well, let's do this. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my larger ruler and place it right here. And it tells me that it needs to be 1/4 inch above the inner bottom. This is the inner bottom of this, of the edges.
Needs to be 1/4 inch. The palm tree is 1/4 of an inch.
The bottom right here is 1/4 inch. There's something right here.
Okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
Are these stitch out lines where we're going to cut?
Okay, I'm glad you asked because we're going to talk about that. So I'll show this first and then let's talk about those outer lines too. Okay. Because there's a couple ways you can do this. And this is going to be important, especially for those of you who don't do background quilting. Okay, if you don't do background quilting, you really don't have any, you don't have a placement line to follow. So you've got to do it this way, right?
And so if you're going to do it, then with a regular ruler, it'll.
Yeah, this is why these orange pop rulers are so nice, right? They just fit right in snug there.
Yep.
Okay, and I have something to hold on to. And then it tells us that the smaller ruler is going to be 1/2 inch from the palm tree. All right, so if I do that, there we go. I'm 1/2 inch from there, okay? I'm going to make this cut, and I'm going to come around and do this cut. This is why a rotating mat is so nice. In fact, Debbie, you're absolutely right. She says, I want the Sue Daily rotating mat. The less expensive ones don't last very long, and they don't swivel very well. And I have found that to be so true. Because
you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for. And I think we're bringing these in again. We usually bring them in for like Plaid Friday, the day after Thanksgiving.
Nice.
And we give a pretty good discount on it because they're a little more expensive, but they are worth every penny. And they're like about 1 inch thick. So unlike the ones like from Olfa, they pop
warp.
out of, they warp and they pop out of the hole.
How do I know that?
Turn it. So yeah. So there we go. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So rotating mats are very, very helpful when using orange pop rulers. I love the 16 inch because my orange pop rulers, fit right there. Okay. So, oh yeah, Martelli is a great one too, Stevie, for sure. All right. So what we're going to do is you put your little, what is this called? A rotary cutter. And you can see that there's elongated corners right here.
I love that.
And because I'm right-handed, I am coming and I'm cutting on the right-hand side of this. Kyle, as a lefty, where are you cutting?
I'm going to go turn it around. Well, I don't know.
And you would do it this way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've learned all my life to adapt.
Yeah. I bet that's
hard.
I bet that is true. For sure. Okay. And then I go ahead and make sure and cut all the way through. Okay. Just take it slowly. You'll be fine.
And you've done those too.
So then it has me remove this hoop. Okay. And now I cut along the top and bottom. Okay.
And you still know that the bottom is 1/4 inch down?
Okay. Okay. And then I do this side and go here. Now.
Nice.
So that's it. Okay. Now it tells us one more thing because we didn't get all the way up. You just finish that off. Okay. It's about 1/2 inch left to cut from there. And now you have a perfect 4.5 by 8.5 inch block. Okay. Ready to fit into your quilt. All right.
And you have your seam allowance.
And your seam allowance. Yep.
That's just the stitching thread, right?
Yeah. Let's take a look at the back.
Nice.
So you can see here, it's probably a little bit harder to tell, but that 1/4 inch seam allowance is outside of the batting. So now when I connect it, see, there's no batting in there, which is really nice. That's why we love block by block. It's because the batting has been trimmed away. My 1/4 inch seam is ready to go into the next
and
piece.
all your stitching is inside that.
Exactly. All the stitching is right there. How fun, right?
And you had to go up 1/4 inch here because that will be on your seam.
Exactly. So now when I pull that back, that's going to line up right there.
Nice.
Now, so Kyle asked the question, what about these placement lines? Most times you could use those.
Yeah, I don't quite trust it all the way.
Sometimes what I'll do, if I want to really trust those placement lines, and this is only for those of you who are doing background quilting, if it tells me 8.5 by 4.5, I'll just take out my little ruler. I'll measure where my lines are. And if it's 8.5 by 4.5, I'm good. I'll just use those lines.
Right.
Okay. But sometimes things can get pulled in a little bit. So you don't want to completely trust those lines 100%.
Right.
Do yourself a favor, do a double measure, make sure that
measure
it's exactly
twice,
that.
Cut once.
Exactly. And then if it works, great, use the lines. If it doesn't, that's why orange pop rulers are really come in handy. Or if you don't have those lines because either you are not doing background quilting or because you had to do clear blue tiles because your hoop wasn't large enough, then you definitely want to be using these. Okay. So does that make sense? Tracy has a question. Do you prefer 10 inch or 16 inch? 16 inch all the way, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, and the reason is because of these orange pop rulers. And I'll tell you something else I love about this. Where is our grippy spray? Do we have grippy spray somewhere around here?
Ooh, I don't.
Nah, we used to have some handy. No, I'm not seeing it. Okay, grippy spray is something we talk about a lot, and I put it on the back of my orange pop rulers.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Spray it. It takes 2 seconds to dry, literally.
It really does.
I mean, so fast. And then that way it helps prevent the shifting
and it's not
going around.
Sticky, like it won't leave a residue.
No, no sticky, and you still see through it just fine. So grippy is a definite must. In fact, I think if Kathy's on, I believe I have a link to grippy because a lot of people ask for it. Oh, there we go. See, she's on it. She is on it. So grippy spray is an awesome product. Highly recommend, especially when using orange pop rulers. Okay. All right, friends. Block number 1 is done. It's done.
Nice.
Woohoo. Now,
and that wasn't painful.
We took kind of a long time to explain some things. Yeah. Hopefully you were able to learn and pick up a few tricks of the trade there. Okay. So let's go on to block number 2 today. And if you're following along on the instructions, I am on page 11. Page 11. Okay. Again, we are doing the 6 by 10. Well, instructions below are for a 6 by 10 hoop. Let me give you a caveat though here.
Okay. Oh boy.
Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look at, because we're doing block by block quilting, the size of the quilting is going to be 6 by 8.
Is it the same?
Okay.
Same background?
And which is actually going to be 6.5 by 8.5. Oh, what? What are you talking about?
Say that again.
Okay. All right. Follow along with me. This, if a 6 by 8 is actually not going to fit into a 6 by 10 hoop. Okay. Because obviously they're not going to put in all the hoops are different. You're not going to put 6.46 by, whatever. So that's why the generalization in the industry is you just say 6 by 8.
Okay.
But embroidery sizes and hoop sizes and embroidery field sizes are not the same.
This is like when you buy a 2x4 or something. My
right.
husband tell me,
And
it's not really
not exactly a 2x4. Exactly. That's exactly right. So some may panic and say, oh no, that means but Kris, I only have a 6x10 hoop. And now you're telling me I can't do this?
Oh dear.
Oh no. I don't want you to panic.
No.
I've got you,
No.
right? There's options.
There's always.
We always have options, okay? What do? There are always options. So I want to spend a few minutes talking you through that today for those of you who don't have it. Now, if you have a larger hoop size, you know what? You don't even have to wait around for Kris to give you. You go. You keep stitching.
Going.
Okay. You keep stitching. Or if you're just curious as to what this all means, because maybe
something.
maybe this problem you've run into in the past, right? So this is actually, when we look at the block by block quilting, if you were to bring that up on your screen, it actually ends up being 6.5 by 8.5 inches. Now, why is that? Well, it's because it's the placement outline and the tack down outline for your background fabric is larger.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have to do a little finagling. So I want to talk to you today about 3 options that we have. The first one being option 1. And that is simply get a larger hoop, right?
Yeah.
And many of you have that option. If you have a 7x12, that's going to work. An 8x12, a 9.5 by 9.5, 9.5 by 14, 10 and 5/8 by 10 and 5/8, and 10 and 5/8 by 16. All of those are going to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to use more.
You're going to use more stabilizer. So that's where, if you were doing that, and if I were doing that, I would probably combine designs so that I could get more into the hoop.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm not
that with the
wasting as much
cuties.
stabilizer. So that's an option. So if you've got a larger hoop, go for it. Use the larger hoop. And let me tell you another idea. If you're like, whoa, Kris, I am not combining designs. Back up. You are not going to force me to combine a design. You don't have to. And I don't want you to waste stabilizer either. Let me show you my little trick for doing that.
Oh no.
If you were using a really big hoop, okay, and you didn't want to combine designs, you just wanted it in the same hoop, all right, and you didn't want to waste stabilizer as much, what I would do is this is the smaller one. You could do this. That's going to be fine this way. But if I had the larger stabilizer, I would keep it on the roll. I wouldn't I would not cut it off. Okay. I'd keep it on the roll. I would hoop my project. I would move my design all the way over to the right. Okay, with this coming off to the left, I would move it all the way as far as it would go in the hoop up to the right. And then that way, when I'm done stitching it out, I have saved all this stabilizer from this point on. Okay, because I didn't cut it. Does that make sense?
Just got to get it out of the way of the embroidery arm, right?
Yes, get it out of the way, have it overflowing over beyond the
it's okay that it rolls on the floor.
So that's one way of saving on stabilizer if you don't want to combine designs. Okay.
Kris, you make me feel so much better about what I do.
Good. I'm so glad. Okay, so that's option 1, and that's actually what we'll end up doing is and I don't know if we're going to actually get to it today, but we'll see. Okay, so option 1, get a larger hoop. Okay, use a larger hoop. That's not always an option for everyone though, right? So here's option 2. Option 2 is to use your software. And if you want, you could take a picture right here of the screen. Yeah.
That's scary.
It sounds scary.
It does.
But it's not. Okay. I promise. There's great softwares out there. I personally love to use Embrilliance, and it's really easy. What you do is you're going to have to eliminate steps 3 and 4. Okay, let's think about this for a minute. Why are we eliminating steps 3 and 4 in our software? Okay, unfortunately, I'm not able to do it on my machine, but I could do it in software. So the reason why we eliminate steps 3 and 4 is because we need the batting, right? We need the batting outline still. We need the tack down of the batting, but 3 and 4 is for where the placement of my background fabric goes.
Okay.
So I really could get away with not having that.
Okay.
And that's what actually extends it beyond to the half inch, because you've got a quarter, quarter, right? So that's what extends it beyond what it needs to be. And that's why it won't fit in your 6x10 hoop.
Okay. So you have to take that off.
You have to take off steps 3 and 4. Okay. That's the placement outline and the tack down stitch for your background fabric. Now, so don't freak out and go, well, where do I put my fabric, right? You're going to just center it over your batting. Just make sure it's centered and you're going to be fine. All right.
And maybe tape it.
Yes, you can tape it. Absolutely. And then it's going to be ready to do the background quilting, and then you don't have to worry about it.
No.
And then you use orange pop rulers to square it up, right? Okay. So, yes. If you have the Solaris, you can eliminate. Yes. I'm working on the Altair today, so I couldn't. But if you're on the Solaris, you could.
Okay. But I have to have that out of the steps.
The luminary.
If I just skip it, it won't work. You have to take it out of the steps.
You got to take it out. You can't skip it. I tried that.
Yeah.
I tried that. I was like, well, can't I just skip it? And no, a lot of times your machine won't even read the file. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Doris, you're right. But you would have the bigger hoop, so you wouldn't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Okay. So that's how you're going to do it in your software. And sometimes you may need to shrink it down a little bit. Don't panic and don't do too much. What I did, and let's bring up the picture again. If you can see on my left hand, or on the left hand little picture here, there's like an orange box around it. That's actually a picture. I took a screenshot of the hoop. Okay, so on my software. So I made sure that my hoop was set to be a 6x10. Okay, because I want to make sure that this design is going to fall in the 6x10 hoop. So up on my screen pops up the 6x10 hoop. And then I was able to shrink it down, and it was by about 6% was all. So very little. It's not going to make much of a difference. You're going to still get that same effect of the stars and everything. It's going to be a little bit different when it connects to your other blocks, but not enough to make a huge difference.
They don't connect to one another.
They will connect. Yes, they will connect. Well, blocks 1, 2, 3, they all connect.
I know.
So you might be a little worried to, change it. I wouldn't do it more than 10%. Okay.
So, this is just for the background.
This is just for the background. Lottie Scrap says her machine will just skip it. That's awesome. If it will skip it and still work, that's great. My machine can skip it, but it's still telling me on the machine, no, you need a larger hoop.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to change this. Yeah, Jess is right. It won't let you move on in the embroidery mode if the steps are still in there. I can skip it, but it's going to say change to a larger hoop. So skipping isn't an option, right? At least that's with my machine.
Yeah, mine too.
Okay, so it could be different for some of you. So yeah, so there's that. Let me think. Again, if you're going to shrink it down, you're just going to do very, very minimal shrinkage until you can get it right into that hoop. All right. Oh, the star blocks alternate so they don't touch. Star blocks alternate so they don't.
On the background.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. I'm saying that it would be to connect because you've shrunk it just a little bit. The connection might be a little.
Yeah, just be aware.
Off, but just to be aware. Yeah, Rosemary says she can't even select it. It's grayed out. And that's why, that's where software comes into play, because a lot of machines can't even allow you to do that. So, okay, so just know that that's what's out there. Okay. Marilyn, I'm shrinking it in software because if I shrunk it, okay, let's see if you can follow here on this. I hope I can explain this well enough.
Okay.
If you shrink it on your machine and you're not able to eliminate the placement and tack down of steps 3 and 4,
you're going to shrink it too much.
Exactly. You're going to shrink it too much. Okay. But because I could actually eliminate in software 3 and 4, then I can shrink it up by just a titch. Okay. Okay. So Vanessa says she shrinks it on her machine before she adds the hoop, and it works. Yeah, try it out.
Yeah.
See if it, if it works for you, then that's amazing.
Just remember what you did one.
That's right.
For the next one.
That's right. Okay, so that's how you do that. Third option. You can always choose a different design, a clear blue tiles design.
I was just going to ask you about clear blue tiles.
You could do clear blue tiles. Now, clear blue tiles is more of an overall. If you see on Kimberbell's website, there's blue designs and orange designs. Orange designs are made, they're more linear, okay? So they don't have the placement, or they do have a placement tack down, excuse me. The clear blue tiles do not. The blue designs do not. They are all over.
Yes,
so
that's right.
What you could do is you could treat your block. Let's see if I hope I can explain this well enough here. I should do another video on this. This other video could take another hour, but I'm going to do my best to explain. All right. So what you could do with your block, if you did not have a 6x10 hoop, right? Or excuse me, you only had a 6x10 hoop. Let's say you didn't have an 8x12, 9x14, something like that. It wasn't going to fit in. What you could do is you treat your block as if it were a quilt and you were using clear blue tiles on it, right? Now, what's going to happen is that your batting is going to get caught in the seam because there's nothing there, right? So don't fret over that. All you have to do is once it's stitched out, all you have to do is just pull back your top layer and trim the batting away.
Okay.
Within 1/4 inch. And then you don't have to worry about your batting being caught in the seams.
Because you're bringing your design in just a little bit in from your fabric.
Yep. And again, if you're using the clear blue tiles method, your batting is across the whole thing. In fact, your batting, let's pretend that this is batting for a minute, okay? I don't have batting close to me, so let's pretend that this is batting. Remember, with clear blue tiles method, your batting is always a little bit larger than here.
Right.
So then when you tape it down, you're going to get batting that is stuck in the seams. And we might fret and say, oh no, but that's not good because I can't add batting in the seams. Don't worry. Just pull this back and trim. You're fine. The trimmer by George is great for that kind of trimming. Oh, that's awesome, Doris. I'm not familiar with that product. And I totally agree, Julie. Always try to buy the machine with the biggest hoop that you can afford. You'll be so glad you did. And that is very, very true. So again, I hope that helps. I am going to be doing another pre-recorded video with how to use the 5x7 hoops for those of you who need to do multi-hooping. And that will come out probably next week. And when we get this one over, but and I hope that you will find that helpful. Okay, does this help?
Yes.
Does this make sense, Kyle?
Yes, it did. It did actually.
If you've got a larger hoop, don't worry about it. Just go for it. Just go ahead and start stitching out block 2, right? And then block 7. So that's kind of the steps you're going to follow. Again, remember, there's always options. Option 1 is going to be get a larger hoop, use a larger hoop. Option 2 is going to be take out steps 3 and 4 in your software, and you may have to shrink it just a little bit. And option 3, use clear blue tiles, okay? And there's some really cute clear blue tiles out there. I mean,
I was looking at this.
I mean, there's stars on there that are clear blue tiles. There's swirls. Awesome. You could do all kinds of things, right?
And you could do it across all your blocks if you wanted.
You could do it across all your blocks.
The same.
Exactly. So always remember that you always have options. So I think I hope that's your key takeaway for today. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, that ends our class.
Hey, you did pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get to, I didn't stitch out blocks 2 and 7, but
they're
it's fine.
exactly
They're exactly
the same.
Exactly.
You just follow the
And
instructions.
tomorrow, we're going to do, we've got lots of blocks to do tomorrow. I don't think we'll have to go into as much detail as we did today on those blocks.
But you might have questions to answer.
But if you have questions, we want to hear them.
I would at least get one of the blocks done. So if you do have questions.
Oh, yeah. Debbie is put in there my favorite saying. I say this all the time. It's all figure-outable.
After you cry and throw things and yeah,
and scream. No, it's all figure-outable. And machine embroidery is meant to be fun, right? Yeah. Yes, Margaret, you could use 9.5 by 9.5. So absolutely. Let's see. So today was focusing on blocks 1, 2, and 7 during this session. And again, I did focus on the background quilting. It looks like Jess just put a link. If you are interested in the background quilting, we'd love for you to use our affiliate link, which,
she said
helps
how to do that.
And she put it in the comments there.
Okay.
Yep. And so we have more giveaways to do, Kyle. And we'll announce 3 more winners tomorrow.
Okay.
So all you have to do is, Kim Yanko, figure-outable. Hashtag figure-outable.
Could they win again?
You could win again. It depends on if that wheel thingamajigger she does. So anyway, so you could win again. Don't think, well, I won today, so I can't, or whatever. Just keep on plugging away. You never know.
Be engaged.
Hey, I've got 15 prizes to give out this week.
Nice.
15 prizes.
3 a day?
Yeah, 3 a day. All right. Any other questions that you have?
No.
Okay.
I think you did good.
Tomorrow is, let's bring up on the screen what the week looks like ahead. It's in banners, or no, brand, excuse me. Right there where it says don't miss. There we go. Okay, this is the schedule for the rest of the week. So today we focused on 1, 2, and 7. And tomorrow we're going to be doing blocks 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, it's going to be pretty much the same. So it's going to be a good review for some of you. Perhaps it's even going to be just a good chance to, get some done. We will be doing using water soluble thread to do the hay.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that tomorrow as well. And then on Thursday, we'll meet up again and talk about borders and the background quilting with that, because I know that can be really tricky for a lot of people. And then finally, we'll wind this up on Friday, and we'll talk to you about how to put in, how to insert your fairy lights with the eyelets, how to create the battery pocket, and how to install the zipper closure. So,
awesome. And
if you know of anyone who you think, you know what, they would probably really like this class, we would love it if you would share that with them.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have it, it's all recorded. So if you ever have to step away or you're not able to come, it's all recorded here, Facebook and YouTube.
Get it again.
Yep.
Lots of times I'll put it on while I'm sewing so that I can
go
step by step.
Yeah. And then you can stop it and
pretend we're visiting the whole time.
Or just hanging out. Me and Kyle. That's right. All right, friends. Thanks, Kyle, for being with me today.
That was fun.
It was super fun.
Really good information.
Yeah, we'll be with you again tomorrow. So join us, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And if you're around later today, I'll be doing 3 at 3 again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Miss Sherry's on a vacation.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about it.
So, yep, that's where Sherry's at. Yep, the rest of us are working. No, Sherry deserves a break.
She does.
I hope she's having a great time.
Hope she's not even watching.
I hope not either, and I hope she's just having a fabulous time. So, I'll see you today on 3 at 3. It's at 3 p.m. Mountain Time right here on Facebook.
Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.